you have to keep people happy. Otherwise, your deliverable to your client will be subpar. If your employees are put first and they understand their value and the importance at the organization, and they're empowered to help their clients and to generate new business, the customer will always come.
Welcome to Growth Think Tank. This is the one and only place where you will get insight from the founders and the CEOs of the fastest growing privately held companies. I am the host. My name is Gene Hammett. I help leaders and their teams navigate the defining moments of their growth. Are you ready to grow? You want your employees to change quickly, to adapt to new demands inside the workplace, right? These demands come from the customers, they come from market pressure, they may come from just a changing of policy so that you can better serve the organization. But if you have employees that resist that change, it becomes difficult as a leader. So what do? Well, one of the things you can do is create a place where you encourage those to adapt quickly. And how do you do that? Well, you bring them in that they have a willingness to learn. They have a willingness to really grow beyond where they are today. And that's really much more important than the current skills they have. Now, you may think I'm wrong in this, but so I wanted to go out there and have a conversation with someone who really has seen this work for them. Adam Petrilli is the founder of Web Presence. They own netreputation.com. They were number 208 on the Inc. list in 2019. And almost $4 million in revenue, and they've continued to grow past that. With 28 employees, as much as the market's changing, they couldn't be where they are today without having employees that adapt quickly. So we're going to have this interview to talk about how Adam looks at adaptation and about change, and how he gets them to go beyond their discouragement. And one of the more interesting parts of this is really just about how you must treat your employees. So make sure you tune into the full interview here with Adam. Now, here is the interview with Adam. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Hi, Gene. Thanks for having me.
Well, excited to have you here at Growth Think Tank. This is a pleasure to have you here. I've already let our audience know a little bit about you at a personal level and some of the success you've had with growing the company. But tell us about Web Presence.
Thanks again, Gene. So Web Presence was founded in 2014. We were running another company that was a target or unfortunate to have a significant amount of negative feedback from customers strictly based on the business that we were in. So we were in a logistics business, and a very high volume of customers. Regardless of what we did, you couldn't keep everyone happy. So we saw the direction that the internet was going. You had more than ever consumer feedback profiles that were coming on board. Shopper approved, Trustpilot, Yelp, Google reviews, Facebook reviews. Everyone wanted to build a platform for consumer feedback. And at the time, we had one competitor in the space, reputation.com, and they were building a software that was focused on monitoring internet reputation, but not really providing the services and solutions to combat negative publicity or negative consumer feedback, as well as to focus on generating and collecting positive feedback about consumer experience. So when we first launched the company, we were strictly focused on the services of content removal. So we would reach out to the individual review platforms to question terms of service or the validity of the feedback. We would also at times reach out to the consumer directly and try to negotiate on behalf of our customer to say, hey, what could we do to make this situation better? And to have your experience with us be a positive one instead of a negative one. And that brought us to where we are now.
Well, your fast growth is something that I know you're probably proud of. Almost $4 million in revenue in 2019 or 2018?
2018.
And then you were number 208 on the Inc. list, 28 employees. You're continuing to grow after that. We don't have to get into the specifics, but what do you think the core reason why your company continues to grow at the pace it does?
I think we continue to identify problems that consumers and businesses are having, and we try to build a solution to that problem. there's a consistent amount of challenges that business owners have when managing their internet reputation as well as individuals. And we've created solutions to these problems, some first to market. And that has definitely fueled our growth to where we are today.
Well, solving problems does create this opportunity to serve the clients in a new way. But you have some really interesting thoughts about how do you create a team around this. And it really is about hiring people and then nurturing them to adapt quickly. Why is adapting quickly important for your company?
Well, I think adaptation is important to life. I think the only thing constant in life is change. And the sooner you're able to adapt to that, and if you're not going to be prepared for it, at least expect it, and just make sure that your mind is in that positive mind state of, hey, this is a problem, this is life, this is business. Let's try to find a solution to it. I have a quote around this office somewhere, and I forget who says it, and I'll follow up with you, Gene, on this one. But whatever the problem, be a part of the solution. Every day in life, in business, you'll come across problems, but I think if you have that attitude of, hey, I'm just going to expect this, you pivot a lot better. And we've definitely tried to find employees that have a willingness to learn, a willingness to adapt, and to be real with life and say, hey, change is constant. And how are we going to overcome this particular change that may come?
Now, hold on for a second. Adam just said change is constant. Well, if you believe that change is going to slow down, then I've got news for you. You're going to be a lot more frustrated and stressful than you need to. But if you accept that change is constant, accept that change is inevitable, then you will have a much better chance to create the organization and be the kind of leader that leads change. Because here's the thing about leadership. The difference between leaders and managers is a big gap. Managers will take a current process and fine tune it. They will adjust it. They will get you better results. That's a great manager, right? But a leader is able to see opportunities and see something that's never happened before and push beyond those things and create new steps. They're not iterating. They're really creating a new path forward. We need more leaders in our work today. And if you believe that change is constant, you definitely want to make sure you're investing in creating more leaders inside your organization. Now back to Adam. Now, finding employees with a willingness to learn, that starts in the hiring process. Is there anything you do specifically in the hiring process that you could share with us?
I'm very upfront in our hiring process, excuse me. But simple things, every employee has a strength. And while we definitely try to focus on filling positions, as a startup, we have the ability to create other departments or other roles and responsibilities that are a benefit or play to that individual's particular strengths. So instead of trying to put an employee in a role, we try to build that role around the employee. Again, we're a startup, so we very much still have the ability to adapt, because that's a core fundamental of our organization, is change and trying to overcome problems as quickly as possible. So if someone's not working out, employee's not working out a particular position, we'll give them another opportunity or say, hey, maybe this is a better fit for you. You've been with the company for 3 years. You know the industry very well. Maybe you should work on our data side instead of our customer facing, or vice versa. Maybe you should be out in the field more instead of behind on the phone. So while outside sales is not a traditional role that we've had at the organization over the last 5 years, it's now something that we see some of our sales reps are good at. So we're saying, hey, let's create that roles and responsibilities document that's more focused on the outside sales process where they're knocking on doors, because that's what they're good at.
I can appreciate the fact that you are able to tailor the role to the person's strengths. And a lot of people, will say that, but they don't really do it. So you found some value there, like the output that they come back, the results has been higher than just putting them in the set role.
Absolutely. I mean, they enjoy their role. They're enjoying what they're doing more because it's their strength. So they're not struggling with it. We're not trying to teach a dog new tricks. While we're a huge fan of learning new things. Sometimes people have a core set of fundamentals of a particular style, even the way people sell. We obviously have our core requirements, but outside of that, some people talk about fishing, some people don't. And same thing with the customer service department. Some people have better relationships with customers than others, but it's whatever kind of works. We'll make our recommendations, but as long as it's working, that's all we're really concerned about.
What other steps have you taken to ensure that employees adapt quickly to all the change that comes about in your world?
I mean, you can't. We do our very best. And when there's discouragement, we try to let them know, hey, it's okay to be discouraged. We never said this was going to be easy, but it's possible. And I think a lot of adapting comes from the discouragement of having to learn something that they don't already know. And that's pretty much, I'd say that's one of the biggest pushbacks that we have when it comes to adapting. Let's say that we're going to start selling or offering a new product or service at the organization. When our core group of employees don't initially understand that or the need for it, in the initial stages, it takes some time to create that habit and to encourage the learning, sometimes up to 90 days. But eventually we'll get them on board. It's okay. It's going to take a little bit longer, but we're going to figure it out together. And it's a group effort. We're very much a team. I say teamwork the hell out of this place all the time. If anyone has a particular question, they know where to go and find the answer. And if they don't, I'm always available. But the adapting, we try to tell people the benefit of adapting, and I use it, even in life all the time. You wake up on Monday morning, a guy this morning had car trouble. It's okay. Don't let that ruin your mood. Adapt, call. We'll see you later in the day. Not a big deal.
This idea of discouragement goes into the human brain and thinking and really about confidence. Are you taking time as a leader to talk to people about their individual confidence or fears that keep them from adapting? And that's one reason why they're able to create that kind of adaptation that you need?
We have a team here. We definitely have a team. And we encourage everyone to work together as much as possible. And even on a personal level, people want to talk. I'm here to play a mentor and a friend outside of the business role as well, and so are most of my other leaders within the organization. My sales managers know that if people at home lives are not well, or we're not being considerate of what's going on outside of work, they're not going to be a good resource for us at our company. So I think we definitely take that into consideration a lot, and we definitely check in on that, and we let people know it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay. We'll get through it. We've all been there, and I'm the first one to say it for sure.
Now hold on for a second. Adam just talked about the personal lives of his employees. Now, as a leader, you might have caught that and said, you know what, personal lives don't have a place inside of our organizations. But I'm here to tell you, I want you to rethink that. I would like to reframe that definition, because we bring our whole selves to work. We have problems that we come in to the door with that we must be addressed. And as leaders, if you're ignoring those, if you think that you want to create a professional organization and we don't talk about personal problems, you're missing an opportunity to truly connect with that individual. Because everyone has problems. Everyone has things going on in their life. And maybe it's not even the problems. Maybe it's the successes that you're able to participate in and show some interest in. If you take a moment to listen to those personal stories, then you will have a much more loyal staff, because they will feel that you care for them. And actually, this actually plays into a framework that I created for some of my clients because they were looking to increase their retention rate. If you want to make sure your employees stay, you want to be very intentional about that, then you want to get the Stay Conversation Framework. I'll give it to you absolutely for free. Just go to genehemmett.com/stay, and you can download the 4 parts to a stay framework. Part of that is the personal conversation. and what to do with it. And the details behind it really do matter. So go to genehammett.com/stay and download the easy one-page framework. All right, back to the interview with Adam. Hundreds of other founders and CEOs, this one question, you had given me the answer, but I want to bring the audience back into that conversation. So I said, as a leader, what's more important, your employees or your customers?
Yeah, your employees always come first. I mean, you have to keep people happy. Otherwise, your deliverable to your client will be subpar. If your employees are put first and they understand their value and the importance at the organization, and they're empowered to help their clients and to generate new business, the customer will always come.
That's a little bit of a new kind of approach. I mean, I think some people would say they always kind of put that customer experience, have always, really focused on the customer experience. And I get it. Like, I care for my customers too, but I understand that my employees are really the face of the business for the most part, through customer service, through any kind of engagement like that. When you put employees first, what is the real benefit as it relates to the entire culture?
We have a great culture. We try to encourage, positivity. Like I said, if you're having a bad day, go home. But I think the empowering and the positivity of the organization goes a long way to growth. Again, when people are happy to come to work and they enjoy their place of work more so than they don't, you're going to have better customers. You're going to have a better deliverable to your customers. And then you're just going to grow organically based on that.
Well, I want to switch gears here for a second because, Adam, you've have a different approach to leadership. I'm sure you've probably made some mistakes along your journey of fast growth. Is there something that comes to mind that you saw it as a learning moment?
Yes, absolutely. So we've always been what I consider to be an encouraged, we have what I call encouragement leadership or management, where we encourage people to read a book a month. We encourage people to work a little bit longer than 9 to 5. We encourage people to work Saturday and Sundays, so they're ahead on their upcoming week. But we don't hold people to, their hourly, what they're working, how many vacation days. While we do take all those types of things into consideration, we really try to empower people to just be the best employee that they can be, and to take, this opportunity of the internet, which we know is so young and opportune. We're in a great place right now as a company and the internet. And we just try to encourage people to maybe go outside the box a little bit. There's another quote: the extra mile is never crowded. So, when I wake up and a little bit earlier and get on the road a little bit earlier than everyone else, when you don't want to sit in traffic, we don't tell the employees, hey, get here early. We say, hey, Tom, if you got here at 7 a.m. this morning, you wouldn't have sat in traffic for 45 minutes. So we try to position it a little bit different than, holding people to basic hourly salaries and just another line item and just another number. We really try to encourage people to be the best that they can be when it comes to their career and even on a personal level. And we get it from people. We really get the effort back that I don't think we would get if we didn't have that type of leadership and management style. So we have roles and responsibilities documents for every individual within the organization. There's simple words like you're encouraged, you're not required, or your goal instead of a quota. We don't have quotas, we have goals. And if you fall a little bit short, that's okay. We'll work with you to get there next month. And I really think that type of leadership and that management has really gone a long way to empower people to accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish and be the best they can be on their career path.
Adam, when you see that you have been running this business for a few years now and it's grown so fast, what is one defining moment that you would share with us that we could all learn from? So
accountability becomes a big one now. We're getting, I don't want to say we're moving away from that encouragement leadership, but we're definitely starting to now, the accountability at organization, once you get to a certain level, becomes really, really key for each department. You need to make sure that you have accountability across the organization. Otherwise, it falls on the back of myself or other executive leadership that shouldn't be doing things. Very basic things like making sure the refrigerator is full of drinks and the trash is taken out. There needs to be accountability across the organization for all tasks that are associated with running a positive and successful business.
Well, Adam, I really appreciate you being here at Growth Think Tank and sharing this. Web presence has created a category in this business, and I really know that having employees adapt quickly has been a huge factor of that growth. So thanks for being here and sharing your wisdom.
Yeah, thanks, Gene. Again, appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, I love this interview. I really appreciate Adam sharing some of the realness behind what's going on inside of our organization. Your employees, if they're resistant to change, will give you stress and frustration, and they will feel stress and frustration. But if you have them really adapt to change and then becomes a way of the culture, I think you'll have a much better chance to grow the business as everything changes. So if you've got some good lessons from this as a leader, I really want you to share those back with someone that would feel like they would get something out of it. So make sure you tell them about Growth Think Tank. Now, if you are got some challenges yourself, if you're looking to go beyond accountability, looking to go beyond where you are as a leader today, make sure you reach out to me, gene@genehammett.com. That's my email address. So I'd love to connect with you. As always, lead with courage, and we'll see you next time.